I think he's sort of the wish fulfillment of who we all wish we could be, which is like in the face of an oppressive system, you know, he's a guy that's willing to stand up, you know, and take that on.
You know, I've been thinking about the show. For the next 30 days, everyone in the country is trying to murder me.
And that's crazy, right?
The Running Man is very much in conversation with what audiences expect from their on-screen heroes. Why was this the role that you wanted to take at this point in your career?
Well, I mean, you know, Edgar Wright is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. I mean, you know, as an actor, I like the folks that I respect, the people that I chase, you know, they work with great filmmakers because, you know, it's really a filmmaker's medium. And you know, Edgar's vision is on this world. You know, he's the ultimate cinephile. Like he loves movies, but he also like worships at the altar of like great stories and storytelling. And really, if you look at, you know, there's a 1987 Arnold movie, but like they didn't really follow the Stephen King book it nearly as much. And Edgar like really wanted to highlight what Stephen's, you know, initial vision was for this thing, which is like a nonstop road movie. You know what I mean? Where it's like this thing just travels. Like instead of just, you know, isolated to a studio, you have one guy being hunted by the entire world, which is just like bigger, it's epic, it's really hard to pull off. But the fact is, like, Edgar Wright is one of those filmmakers that has been doing this so long at the highest level. So if there's anybody that's gonna be able to pull it off, it's Edgar, and he obviously did.
And was there, on your own part, was there any sort of thought put into the fact that like audiences may be starting to maybe not make up their mind, but they might have an idea of what kind of character you play on screen? Was there anything about Ben Richards specifically that made you say like, this guy says something that I want to say about myself?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, you know, I really do my best to zig when people think I'm gonna zag, you know, try to keep people on their toes. And, you know, I don't want people to be tired of playing myself. I don't want people to be tired of watching me. So it's like, I try to switch it up as much as possible. But Ben Richards is, you know, he's got a lot of spirit of like the things that I believe in. You know, it's like, he's a guy who's willing to stand up for his family. He's willing to fight for what he believes in. He hates a bully. I mean, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. And I don't like people that punch down. And, you know, this is a guy who's really, I think he's sort of the wish fulfillment of who we all wish we could be, which is like in the face of an oppressive system, you know, a system that is determined to kind of push down people that are trying to just do their best to provide for the people they love. He's a guy that's willing to stand up, you know, and take that on, you know, in a game where there's a 0% survival rate, you know? And so I think that's who we all wish we could be, you know, people that in the face of overwhelming odds, you know, we're the people that stand up for the people we love.
You know why they cheered for you down there?
Go, go!
If you can survive against those goons, so can they.
Now, going back to working with Edgar a little bit, you've talked about being a fan of his for a very long time. Do you remember what film, or maybe even the specific moment from which of his films really made you an Edgar Wright fan?
I remember, you know, obviously there's, you know, Shaun of the Dead was the first one I saw of Edgar's. I was like, this guy's visionary. I mean, I watched and I rewatched that movie. All my buddies, you know, I have like this group of friends that we all, like, I host movie nights. I'll cook dinner for people, we have some drinks, and we like watch a movie and then like, you know, and then talk about it afterwards. And I think Shaun of the Dead was one of those movies that I watched, I was like, how the heck did this guy pull this off? It is such a tonal tightrope, and he just keeps doing it over and over in all these different genres. But the things that makes Edgar really, really special is the collision of tone and genre, which is really the mark of a great filmmaker. It's someone who can really manage that thing, and Running Man has that in spades, where it's like, you know, I got to show this to like a bunch of my friends the other night, a bunch of really, you know, talented filmmakers, and everybody kept, you know, complimenting the fact that this movie is unbelievably funny, but it is like, they were like, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. It's so intense, but it's also, you know, tension and, you know, pressure and tension sometimes are married together with comedy and action. You know what I mean? But Edgar has this ability to navigate a thing that very few filmmakers could pull off. I mean, I really think this is a vision that only Edgar could pull off. So Shaun of the Dead was the first one I saw. Then I saw Hot Fuzz. And obviously when I grew up on 90s action movies, so it's like, he kind of had all these like homages to like Michael Bay, like the slow-mo, the parallax, the long lenses, you know, all that stuff was just like really, really fun. And then, but it was also unbelievably funny. Baby Driver, you know, it's like, you just see him just do it over and over and over. Scott Pilgrim is like one of those that I'm always in awe of, just like the practicality of how he pulled it off. So he's one of the greats, and get to watch him throw himself into this world was just such a pleasure.
I mean, you talk about this collision of tone and genre, and that really also calls to mind for me that this is a Stephen King adaptation. This is a very iconic Stephen King story. Do you have any early memories of coming to Stephen King for the first time?
I mean, Stephen King is one of those authors that for me, I find to be like maybe the most prolific of all time. He wrote this book under the name Richard Bachman because he was writing so much that his publisher said like, hey, you can only do one a year. Like that shows you there's a lot of stories in this man's brain and in this man's heart. So I think for me, you know, it's reading Stephen King, you know, obviously some of the classics, but I actually had, this is sort of technically the second time I've had a run-in with Stephen King. I did a movie called Stuck in Love.
Of course,
a long time ago, which was like a movie about a family of writers, and Stephen King has a cameo.
This is Rusty.
Rusty, this is Stephen King.
So this is like technically Stephen and I have a really small role in the movie, but this is technically the second time Stephen and I have shared a movie together.
People on these games never come back.
I'm not trying to get myself killed, so kiss my ass twice.
Right there is why you can win this game.
I take you for the kind of person that really likes to learn a lot from your collaborators. And somebody that I have to imagine you learned a lot from was Josh Brolin in this film. You guys have such great scenes together. What was your major takeaway from working with that guy?
God, Josh is, you know, Josh is one of those rare actors that really, he's got a real connection with humanity. Like he really understands. He loves talking about it. He's like kind of like a wonderful like actor's nerd in a great way, but just a real guy's guy. You know, he's just like he's a real dude. And I think the thing that always made me laugh about Josh is there would be like we'd like be doing like takes, and after the take, I'd literally be like watching him in the take, and I'd be like, this guy's just crushing it. And then after the take, he'd be like, why are you taking yourself so seriously, Josh? Like stop, man. Just play pretend, man. Just stop taking yourself so seriously. And it always just made me laugh because like you could see like a guy that's accomplished as much as he has, a guy that's at his level, he's still reminding himself like, hey, we're just playing pretend here. We're just having fun. And he's a guy that just never takes himself seriously. Like he is one of the funniest people I've ever met. He roots for his collaborators. He's a great vibe on set. He's respectful to everyone. He's hilarious. He's always like entertaining the troops. It's just, I hope I get to make a lot more movies with him. He's phenomenal in the movie.
Hey, buddy. You're on Freebie. You better run! I got a grenade!
Back at you.